What's up, wild ones? It's been so long. Holy shit. Okay. So I sent out an email this week, and it was after I'd taken ballet class with one of my friends. And I was in this, like if you've taken dance class, that amazing torture device that helps you get into your center splits. And we were talking about just like the difference between the way that we approach the things that we really want in our life as adults versus how we did it when we were kids. And we're talking about so dance is one of those things that helps you to feel completely wild and untamed and free in your body, in your life, in all the things, in the way that you perform, the way that you get on stage, the way that you create everything. And we kind of had this correlation between dance and amusement parks. So when you're young and you go and you're just like, I'm going to go, like, I don't care. Like, I would bungee jump. I'd jump out of a plane. I'd do all the things. I'd ride like the craziest, wildest roller coaster. I would do all the things. And you're not thinking about, oh, but like, what happens if something bad happens when I'm up there, or what might people think, like what if I don't do it the right way, or like whatever it is. And how do we bring that sense of wild abandon into the way that we show up in our life every single day, right? The way that we create, the way that we make love, the way that we make an impact, who we are, right? How do we keep that sense of expansiveness and curiosity that we had when we were little kids, like when we popped into a dance class when we were little, when we hopped on a roller coaster when we were little, versus now? And there is a thing of being so caught up with what other people are going to think that you hold yourself, like you get really constricted in on yourself and you can't be 100% free. I was talking to a client yesterday and we were talking about how when she, like growing up, all that, when she wanted to feel like be in her body, she only felt in her body when she was with a man. Like that was the only time, like when she was physically with a man, when she was like excited, in love, all of that, that's when she felt like, oh, I'm in my body. And so then she was really going for that, chasing that in relationships, in whatever it may be, but she was correlating her own sense of being free and being connected and being fully at home in her own skin with being with someone else. And this is just a breakthrough she had on the call yesterday. So like, I can't even wait to see what comes through for her now. But like when we have these breakthroughs, it really hit me like, holy shit, this is what so many of us do. And we do it where that sense of freedom, that sense of being completely wild and untamed and free in our own skin, we think it has to come from something or someone else. So that's like, if I wanted to be completely free in my art, then I need if I was a painter, I would need my teacher to be like, oh my God, that is so good. This could this painting could hang in blah 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 gallery. It could be in this, you could have these patrons, you could have blah 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 blah. And I would be like, yes. And then once it got in the gallery and I was getting the accolades, and I would be like, oh God, yes, I feel so good. Like this is freedom, this is expansiveness. I feel like so dropped in, and yes, 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 my art is worthy and it's worth something and people value it, and it's all these things. And that is an external feedback loop, so that we're always seeking something outside of ourselves to tell us that our art is good and that it's going to make a difference in all the things that we want with our art. And the same thing happens in our sex lives, right? When we don't know how to take care of our own body, right? When we are seeking a sense of cosmic connection through sex, through this deep, delicious, dropped in sensation, right? But we think we can only have it with another person. We miss out on how deeply we can connect with our own body. So this is pussy, this is cock, this is whatever it is. But if you can't give yourself like a deep pussy massage, if you're a dude and you can't give yourself like the most amazing penis massage, and I'm not just talking about how you get to orgasm, how you get to climax. I'm talking about how you actually exist in your own body, how you can begin to build and expand and like just oh my God, just like drop into your own sexual energy and that freedom and tap into that deep spiritual awakening, right? There's even a book, Finding God Through Sex, right? Like, but being so deeply connected on your own. Yes, we can do it with a partner. I mean, duh, right? Like, you probably, maybe, hopefully have had that with a partner at some point. And if you haven't, then you've seen it, you've heard about it, you've watched it in a porno, you've seen it on like some sort of, rom-com, and you're like, that's what I want in my life, and you're chasing it forever. And it's because we've put it outside of ourselves. That freedom, that wild, like, okay, that space of dropping our inhibitions. If we constantly think that it has to come from being with someone else, it never actually happens. It might feel like freedom. It might feel like, oh, okay, I feel validated, I feel so connected, I feel wild, I feel free, I feel untamed, I feel all the things that I want to feel. But we only have that when we're with someone else. Then is it really freedom, right? Because freedom is that, like, it's that sense of home, right? Your home is not a building, right? It's not a building, it's actually inside of you. And so when people, you've used, like, it's all the rage to be a digital nomad now. The people who can do it and do it really well and do it really successfully, even if you're not 100% digital, right? Like, you're traveling the world like all the time and you don't have a physical address, like that's a permanent address, even if you're doing it part-time, whatever. The people who are most successful at that are the people who have found, like, they've come home in themselves, and so that they're not associating their safety, their belonging, their love, their that calmness in their nervous system with something outside of themselves. So even a building, if you're associating that sense of being at home with a building, then what happens if it goes away, right? If you lose it financially, if it's destroyed with a fire, if you have to move because of job, because of business, because of relationship and everything. You see this when people get so attached to a house and they've been there 20 years and it's time to move, but they just can't, and their kids and their family are like, you've got to move, like this house no longer serves you. And they're like, I can't, because they've associated their identity, all of their memories, everything is in that building rather than within themselves. And so then where is the freedom there, right? Where is the freedom when we are so associated and connected? We're disassociated with our own soul and our own body as our temple, and we're associated with another person or a thing outside of ourselves. Now, this does not mean that we need to, like, pull away from life outside of ourselves, right? This doesn't mean you have no one in your life that you care about, or that you don't have a home that you love, if that's what you want. It doesn't mean that you don't have the most cosmic, awakened, orgasmic sexual intimacy with your partner. It doesn't mean that those things don't happen, but it means that it begins, right? The thing that you're seeking in someone else or in something else, it has to begin inside of you. And that sounds so corny. It sounds like, oh, of course we know this. Everyone does this. We all know this, of course, right? But are you actually embodying that as life? Are you seeking that sense of home in a partner? Are you seeking love in a partner? Are you seeking safety in a house? Are you seeking validation from your patrons or clients or mentors or whatever it is, blah, 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 from an audience, right? That is one of the deepest ways that we can really drop into our own freedom. To drop our inhibitions, right? To release our inhibitions and drop into our freedom is to allow it to begin inside of you. Instead of seeking it outside from something or someone else, look at what you want the most. Like, what does freedom mean to you? What does that wild abandon mean to you? Get into your body, drop into your breath, find that deep, sensual, sacred movement that allows you to really tap into your primal energy centers, that allows you to well, I mean, if we're going a little BDSM there, if you want a top or bottom, tap into it. Like, really, what takes you there, taps you into, drops you in, expands you. Notice what causes constriction. Notice where you are seeking it anywhere outside of yourself. If you do not know how to, and do not understand how to resource what you need through your own body, then you will forever be seeking outside of yourself and you will never be satiated, right? I was out to lunch with some girlfriends today. You can't be satiated. And we were talking about like the difference between like drinking a smoothie, like someone was talking about how they were on a juice fast and they did a juice fast for days, and she was like, I'm full, like I was full the whole time, but I didn't feel like I just needed to chew some freaking food. And the way human bodies are set up, right, our human brains, right, we don't feel actually satiated if we're not chewing something, right? So then that juice, whatever, not talking about like just juice diets for, I'm not even talking on a health standpoint, right, like of juicing for the rest of your life. I'm not talking about that and like how that would affect your stomach and all that. But let's just say you're doing like a nice healthy juice cleanse for 3 days, for a week, whatever it is. You might notice that, like, you might notice you're irritated. You might notice that you're kind of frustrated. It's because you're not getting that satiation, blah, 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 from being able to actually chew your food. So it's the same thing of when you're not resourcing within yourself, your nervous system can feel like it's always in fight or flight. It can always feel like it's like, ah, and you're always kind of like tweaked out, or you're worried, or you don't feel safe, or you don't feel loved, or you don't feel fully met in your life. And that's because we're always seeking it from outside of ourselves. And we've got to remember, right? We've got to remember how to resource within ourselves. So yeah, let me know if this was helpful. We can totally talk about this some more next week, blah, blah, blah. Or if you want me to write about it, let me know if this is something that's like a good topic for you, that you're like, I have no idea how to fucking resource myself. Like, how do I resource? How do I calm my own nervous system? How do I use my sexual energy to really create the life that I want and to create, I'm all about sexual energy and creating, and the impact that you have with your art, right? Like that social justice, liberation. How are you actually creating the change that you want to see in the world with your art? So if this kind of this angle is useful to you, then let me know and we can go more into it. Sorry, I know I'm froggy. I think I just coughed directly into the mic. I turned away from the camera and coughed to cough, and I coughed into my mic. You're welcome. So thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a minute since I dropped a vlog. So let me know if this was useful. If so, drop a comment below. Let me know if you want like a part 2, if there is a part 2, if there's something specific you want to see. As always, I'm over on Instagram most days of the week. And if you're not on my email list, that's where you can catch all the best stuff, because I drop that like 3, 4, sometimes. I'm aiming to get up to 7 days a week. It hasn't happened yet, but maybe one day I will actually be dropping blogs every single day. So make sure you're on my list, scaleyouриmpact.co. That's how you get on my list. That's how you get all the good stuff, and you get an entire free course. It's like freaking epic and mega and huge, delicious and fucking orgasmic. So go get that. Yeah, I think that's it. I love you guys. I'm going to go drink some Starbucks now, and I got some work to do, and I think I'm going to go watch some TV. I love you. I don't know why I had to share that, just because. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. As always, here's to your untaming. Yeah. Bye, wild ones.